So you want a luxury watch but don't quite have disposable mortgage level money? Well, some brands try to mitigate pricing via cutting out the middleman and selling direct to consumer, or not inflating in prices due to name and heritage. One such brand that claims to be luxury for less is Christopher Ward. Now, I have reviewed the Christopher Ward 12 before, which you can watch after this video if you like, but today we have another watch from them, which is this, the C63 GMT. Oh, and just quickly before we move on, I am currently doing a giveaway for the Merca Hill at either 7,500 subscribers or the end of Q1 for this year. To enter, just like, sub and comment. It takes 3 seconds and it helps me out greatly. Anyways, before we get onto the review of the watch itself, we must talk about the branding and history. Starting off, Christopher Ward's inception was on the Thames in London in 2004, when 3 mates decided to start a business together and, sharing the interest of horology, settled on watches. The name Christopher Ward comes from a mixing of 2 of their names, which they state sounded the most quintessentially British. Now, they did at first struggle to sell any watches when they advertised in the Independent newspaper. Luckily for them, however, Dave Malone, a lecturer and watch expert from Tasmania, saw that advertisement for a watch powered by a genuine 2824-2 and decided to get one for himself. Now, funnily enough, he was actually originally planning to write a scathing review on the watch, and on the world's largest watch forum, no doubt, timezone.com. However, upon arrival, the build quality and genuine 2824-2 impressed him, causing him to call it the best value mechanical watch in the world. This helped Christopher Ward get on the map, catapulting their popularity, which a few years down the line in 2008 led them to working with an exclusive Swiss watchmaking company, Synergies Horloger, based in the watch capital of Biel. This allowed them to create their first bespoke modified movements, like the C9 Jumping Hour series and the C900 single pusher. In 2014, Christopher Ward and Synergies Horloger, owned by youre, announced their merging into one company, which then on July 2nd of that same year led to the Caliber SH21, the first commercially viable mechanical movement from a British watch brand in over 50 years. Travel to the modern day, not only is Christopher Ward a well-known and reputable name now, but they have a huge lineup of various models, all of which are generally quite good. These include models like the 12, their integrated bracelet sports watch, the Bel Canto, a worldwide recognised and renowned watch for being revolutionary, being one of the only modern chiming watches in its price range, the C1 Moonface, an aventurine stone dial dress piece, the Sealander, a great daily piece also with a GMT variation, which is what we have here, and the Super Compressor, a watch with a rare and usually pricey complication that increases water resistance as you descend. It's also good to mention that though they were a micro brand maybe 5 or so years ago, they've sort of moved past that tag and become an independent, with a revenue of 30.5 million in 2024. So their lineup is vast. Not only that, but they have a piece for everyone, even in sizing, because I'm pretty sure, to my knowledge, all models come in larger and smaller sizes, like 36, 39 and 41. But how good actually are they? Is it just a marketing scheme? Are they just bigging themselves up? Well, not really. Don't get me wrong, designs are subjective. Even though I think their designs are very good, you can't base your opinion on a watch brand on designs alone, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You might not like a design, but the thing that matters is the objective facts, the finishing, the specifications, the build quality, things that even if you don't like the design of the watch, you still have to be like, oh okay, well this is at least well made. And from my experience handling now 2 of these, I can tell you the finishing is impeccable, the build quality is robust and top end, and the specs are really high end as well. Anyways, moving past the brand itself and actually starting with the review of the watch, let's start with the dial. Now, unlike the 12 I reviewed a month ago, the dial is very basic. Being a white polish and lacquered dial, which also comes in black, there are, however, more eye-catching dials with a sunburst hunter green and a sunburst dragonfly blue. That aside, the indices are clean, legible and very well applied, having grade X1 BLC1 Superluminova for the lume, which is also in the hands. Talking about hands, obviously I have the GMT variation of the C63, as there are also non-GMT options, and for the GMT hand we have a nice shade of orange which is very legible but not overbearing. This reminds me quite a lot of the Rolex Explorer 2 for example. The normal hour hand and minute are also very well finished and sport the same lume again. I will also mention that the print quality is excellent and the brand logo is applied and brushed, which makes it stand out in a good way, as it is done to an excellent level of quality. The brand's logo itself is also very tasteful. It's actually from their two heritage. One is a British flag for obviously the Christopher Ward side of things, and one is a Swiss flag, obviously from the Synergies Horloger side of things. Now they've put these into squares and put them next to each other, which I'm showing on screen now. The crystal itself is sapphire and flat, which helps with the slimness of the watch, and the anti-reflective coating is very good. As for the strap, this one actually came with an orange rubber one, which yes is very good quality and very comfortable, but as I've said before, I've always disliked rubber straps. If you like rubber however, this is very nice quality, and I'm not sure how, but it doesn't seem to attract dust like most other rubber straps I've handled. Now even though I haven't been hands-on with the oyster style bracelet of this watch, I have been hands-on with the bracelet of the 12, and generally brands have similar quality, similar finishing, similar build quality for watches in the same price range, as the 12 and the C63 are the exact same price, so I would assume that the bracelet on this is just about the same quality, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more than on the 12, and from the 12 I can tell you, all their bracelet finishing is really, really good. So I'm going to go on a whim and have a highly informed guess to say that the bracelet on this is probably very, very good. The movement used here is the Swiss SW330-2, an incredibly robust and reliable movement with plenty of parts out there for servicing. It is 25 joules and 28,800 VPH, otherwise called 4 Hz, so it ticks nicely. It also has a great 56-hour power reserve and is 4.1mm thick with great anti-shock protection. In this price, a better GMT movement would be a very hard task to achieve. As for sizing, the C63 GMT comes in both 39 and 36. The 36mm version I have here has a 43mm lug-to-lug, and of course 36mm diameter, and an impressive 11.15mm thickness. The lug width is also 20mm, which is perfect, probably the best lug width that there possibly can be, because there are so many straps and bracelets that fit this size, as you can see in all of the footage, as I have switched around these straps a few times. Moving on to the packaging, man, this brand has a really nice opening experience. This is the most affordable price tag, where you get a luxurious opening experience. The box seems to be black leather and wood, with magnets at the very back of the wood, as well as there being magnets on the very back of the leather box sort of thing that give it a nice snap when closing, not too dissimilar from an Apple product. Not only is the box beautiful, but talking about it, it really does have that clean and elegant opening feel of getting a newer iPhone. That Apple product's clean, crisp opening. Now for the big boy. The specs are good, but what about the finishing? Well, pretty simply, the finishing is as good as it gets for around £1,000. The brushing is very nicely done, the applied indices are perfect, the logo is brushed very well, the sides are polished nicely, and the transition from polishing to brushing is clean and sharp. I also see no QC issues or manufacturing errors whatsoever. To give you a good idea, I'd say that this has the same level of finishing as maybe a Tudor Black Bay or a Longines Zulu Time, maybe just that tad little bit below those, but the difference is negligible, so very impressive there. Moving on to my opinion on the brand, it stays the same as in the 12 review video, right? It's one of the best brands in this price, and though it was probably a top 3 microbrand just 5 years ago, it has outgrown that label completely and is no longer a microbrand. Not only do they have an expansive offering, not only are they extremely famous and desired now, not only do they have high enough revenue numbers to, hit with the big boys, but they make some of the best watches in the price range. For example, this C63 is about $1,330. Not only that, but there's lots of micro brands, right? And this is one of those micro brands that I can sort of see sticking around. If you understand where I'm coming from, I mean, a lot of brands that we review, you know, Hamilton or Tissot, the more affordable ones, yes, they're in this price range and they have history, but Christopher Ward makes better watches, and I'd say that in 100 years, Christopher Ward will be where they currently are. Because I do see Christopher Ward sticking around. I think that they're doing enough innovative things. I think that they're making enough money. They're a big enough brand. And I do see a lot of things for them in the future. So we'll see how that goes. The only issue that I have here with this baby is I really dislike that strap. I'm not a rubber strap guy. Maybe on like a really sporty watch. But I don't really wear really sporty watches. I prefer more elegant dress pieces. And even then, I would never wear them on rubber. Maybe if you like rubber, fair enough. Like, it's a very good quality rubber strap. I've shown you it on camera. It looks nice, it feels nice, it wears nice. I don't like rubber straps. It's as simple as that. Even though I haven't dealt with the bracelet on this, I do know it's going to be of at least good quality, if not amazing quality. So I'm just going to go on a whim and say, you know what, your bracelet strap here is really good. I don't like the rubber, especially orange. I think that's a horrible colour for rubber, but that's just my personal taste. My opinion on the watch is that it is an incredible GMT, probably one of the best in the price range, and it's got that really nice Explorer 2 sort of style to it if you're looking for that. Again, my opinion on the brand hasn't changed. I think they're doing really innovative things. I think in 2024, you know, with some of their watches, they outperformed brands like Rolex and Patek Philippe, and I do see them doing that most likely in this year as well, unless the big boys start bucking their ideas up, because they're really doing badly these days. They're just releasing rubbish, but we'll save that for another video. Point is, the brand itself is not just a hype brand. The products are very good, they are very well priced, and there's a wide range of options to choose from. All of this put together means I'm looking forward to what they have to do in the future. I'm looking forward to what they do in 2025. I mean, they did really well in 2024, so I'm looking forward to this year for them. And yeah, I expect great things. Anyways, I do appreciate you for watching. Hit that like and subscription if you don't mind. And never forget, time keeps ticking, so use the time you have wisely.